I really like the opening animation, really, really unique and good. I just thought it really fit this story well. I like the brief explanation in the beginning as well about what this was about. Um, a touch can mean so much sometimes. I wrote that down as one of the lines that she said, and it really stuck with me. I think that's so true. I think our society, especially with all of the social media, social apps, um, online, we get so used to the not even being in person, having so many conversations with people online, but not even being in person. And we've lost a lot of our touch with people. Really nice drawings and colors. Um, and I also wrote down the line, however, I wish I had had the choice. This is such a powerful statement. You've taken the choice from people. I mean, yes, this woman had a great outcome with her family being supportive, but not to have the choice is really powerful. I like that she said you have to really love people to be in this field, to work in a clinic like this. Crazy, it was the only clinic in Mississippi, and the clinic became the center of the U.S. Supreme Court case, and it shut down. And when it was overturned, the Roe versus Wade, and uh, just a terrible, terrible story, beautifully done in a short period of time. And I think it's so needed right now for all of these types of stories to be out there.
This is such a very personal experience, which I know is used to help people through this documentary and just through her work in general. She used her own story and a means to create a whole clinic and served in that clinic as a real guide to the women there because it has been something she had been through. And as a child, she wasn't given the opportunity to choose, and it provided her the want to provide a space to give others this opportunity. What was unfortunate about this documentary was how it ended because it was sad to see that another clinic is affected by the overturning of Roe versus Wade. The government is doing everything in its power to make sure that the power to choose is not allotted versus being in a state like California where our governor is very open to keeping the opportunity to choose as an option. So it doesn't weigh over me in the same way that it was, but I'm still very aware of the idea that not having the choice at all or having the choice being further inconvenienced or, you know, having to, because I may not always live in the state, having to think about those things before I move certain places. Like as a woman, it adds all this extra pressure onto the idea of motherhood that should not be there because it's pressure enough.
Really, really beautiful hand-drawn animation. It almost looked like it was watercolors. It was, uh, really cool. I thought it was dynamic and creative the way she would transition her animation through each frame. The story itself was a really important message about, um, how essential these clinics are and these people are for women in crisis with their pregnancies, um, and having that human approach and how important what it was to have this clinic. Um, the, I loved how it showed how amazing of a woman Betty is and was. Um, the ending, of course, of this animation is devastating. To hear what has become of Miss Betty's clinic and what our direction our country is going in. So that was a really sad note to end on, but it was powerful to hear this message and, maybe bring awareness to why it's so important that we change the direction of where this country is going in terms of abortion clinics.
I thought this piece was very well done. I thought the animation conceit really made it educationally easy to get into. I thought the music and her voice in particular made it a very sort of inherently endearing and compassionate approach to a topic that's has a lot of controversy and vitriol and drama around it. And I thought she really created sort of the human element as to why this is so important for both women's rights in particular and human rights in general, and sort of how a gap in this sort of understanding and how to take care of other people in terms of women's health really reflects in other parts of society. And that if you have a society that is treating women's health and reproductive health in this type of way, it will bleed into other aspects, and how there are a lot of sort of racial and class overlaps that really create serious dynamics in which people that need the help the most are not getting it. So I thought this piece had a really great sense of compassion in it, and I thought it had a really great sense of sort of self awareness about how difficult the problem is and how important it is for people to sort of give their life's work to it. And this is what was the case with Betty in this scenario. So I thought it was very well done. The quality of the animation and the production was very high.
I really felt the struggles of Miss Betty when she was young, and when she didn't have anyone to stand by her, not to help her when she got pregnant as a teenage girl. And so then her main goal in life after she retired became this one. She wanted to become that person, to stand next to all these young women that couldn't, that don't want to conclude their pregnancy, and so they wanted to terminate the pregnancy. They want to abort, and but they usually, many of these women don't have anyone helping them, mentally speaking. They don't have anyone to. They don't have anyone that can just put an hand on their shoulder and say everything is going to be all right. And I think this was the very touching, the touching part of the film, seeing that this clinic is not only doing abortions, but is also offering support, emotional support for everyone, for the women and for their family, parents, and everyone involved in this process.
It's a compelling story because of how true it is and how topical and important it is right now. And they did just a good job at presenting it. I think the animation was a nice touch to just sort of help us visualize the story, as opposed to just sitting her in a chair and interviewing and having the footage that way. But then the cherry on top was really getting to see her at the end, and just the way the narrative tied itself together and just comes full circle. When she describes her experience at 16, and then her giving back. It was really touching.
Now she does a great job of telling her story. Absolutely wonderful job of telling us her history and what she's done in response. And it's she does a great job telling the story. The interview was conducted very well, it was directed very well. The animation was absolutely beautiful. I absolutely loved it. It was such a great style. It was very consistent across the entire piece. That they were able to produce 3 minutes of animation like this, that's definitely an undertaking, and it was wonderfully done. Beautiful style. It all looked great. I love the look of it. I love the feel of the flow of it.